Awesome. Well, welcome back to the podcast Barbecue and Bibles. And today I have a special guest, Taylor Morrison. Taylor may be the youngest person on the podcast, but he is a student at Dallas Baptist. And I always call Taylor the bishop because Taylor's a bishop in my eyes, and Taylor can pray like none other. You hear Taylor pray, you would not think he was not even 30 yet. To say Taylor's very oily. Um, but welcome Taylor Morrison to the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jasmine, for having me on. Can't wait to see how this turns out. I got some great stories and everything. So yeah.
I think it's gonna be great. I think you may have one of the coolest stories that we may
hmm
share on the podcast. So hopefully you'll tell that story. I'll leave that up to you. But I'm just so thankful that you joined me
hmm
today. So let's start. Since it is barbecue and Bible podcast, what's your favorite barbecue spot in Texas?
So I have four favorite barbecue spots. Number one is Smokey D's. I love me
Okay.
some Smokey D's. So shout out to Smokey D's.
That's
Uh,
still in DeSoto, Smoky D's.
yes. Number two is I don't know if y'all tried this place yet. Y'all need to. It's called Jasmine's Barbecue. Jasmine can cook some barbecue like it's nobody's
I
business.
heard her barbecue is really good. Like, yeah.
Yes. So shameless plug to Jasmine. Y'all go get her. She's selling, I think, 4th of July plates. So please go get that 4th of July plate.
Thank
Um,
you.
and number three, I think maybe Hutchison's. No, Terry Black's. It's Terry Black's.
Yeah,
Really like their brisket. It's so moist.
yeah,
And
Texas brisket
then
is really good.
yes, and then number four is my own, shameless plug. Shameless plug. I put mine last, Didn't want to boast, just
We
didn't
and
want
we have to talk about that because I hear about your barbecue and your mac and cheese. I've
to.
had neither.
Well, you're gonna have it soon, soon,
Before the
soon. I
summer is
gotta.
up. Before
Yes,
the
before
summer
the
is up.
summer is up, maybe Juneteenth. Let's
Okay.
see how. We need to have a cookout Juneteenth. And
Exactly.
so yes. So pretty soon. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't promise you nothing because I
Right.
still owe Elder some mac and cheese, so I can't promise you nothing.
Yeah, it's a list of us waiting on the mac and cheese. Now,
Yes.
I know you mentioned Smoky D's. I really like their baked beans. Have you had their baked beans?
I have not had their baked beans. I had their rib tips. Oh, their rib tips is so delicious.
So next
So
time you go, get the baked beans.
okay.
The baked beans are
Okay.
really good. I like
Okay.
Cherry Blacks.
hmm
Um, Hutchins is good. I actually saw a sign in Arlington today. Well, not a sign, it was like a truck by like
hmm
a vacant building, and it was like Hutchins Barbecue. So I was like, wait, are they moving to Arlington?
Mm.
Which means I
I
won't
hope
have
they
to
do.
drive across town to
Yes.
Hutchins, which is always good.
It's
So,
because we always go all the way across town just to
right.
get some
And
good barbecue. And
exactly.
now
That's
Elder and
insane.
Pastor can come to this side of town.
Exactly. You can get them over here.
Yes.
Perfect. So, the purpose of the podcast is really just to honor Bishop. And
hmm
so I've had everyone that came on kind of tell their story of how they either made it to the Potter's house or
hmm
met Bishop,
Yeah.
all the things. So how did you even hear about Bishop? How did you meet him? We need to
So,
see Taylor.
uh, like like Jackson said, my story is unique. So I have been listening to Bishop Thomas Jector Jakes for a very long time. Since I was a little kid. Fun fact is, when I was a little kid, I used to mimic his sermons and preach his sermons and make them my own. Like the white lady that got caught. I didn't get
Right.
caught. I was still a little kid. Uh,
Okay, so there's no video of you
yeah,
mimicking.
so there's no video, no VH tapes, no none of that. So glad that phones wasn't as phoning like it is now.
Right.
So but yeah, so I used to watch. It was so funny. Like it used to be a VH tape, and I used to watch it, and then they used to play it again, and then as he was preaching, I would say the words that he be preaching. So it was real funny. But now I don't do that. I come up with my own stuff.
Can you give us a sample of your Bishop
Uh,
Jakes impersonation?
Um, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. But yeah, so the voice will come back soon because as
Right.
I talked about him, it'll come back soon. So when I was about a junior in high school, my teacher she said, write a letter to somebody that inspires you. So I'll go, you know what? Who inspires me? Who do I watch? I go like I watch Bishop Jakes every day. Like on TBN, they used to have a well, they still do because I watched it the other day.
Potter's
And
touch.
say, yeah, this is the Potter's touch. So yeah. But yeah, so watch the Potter's touch and everything. And so I wrote a letter to him. And I said, you know, I made up in my mind to write a letter to him. So I wrote the letter, and it was a perfectly written letter. As I go back and read it now, I go, Taylor, you did not have grammar back then. You should use Grammarly. I'm surprised they actually come to you. Come see him. But yeah, so I wrote it, and then I put in there, and I said, I wish I can make it to your church, but your church is always packed. So if you can find any kind of way to make sure I get there, just a little seat will make be sure. So
Right.
I wasn't looking for anything special, anything like that. I really didn't think that he would write back or anything like that. But I was hoping and I was praying that he would. So I wrote the letter, it sent off. I remember 2 weeks, I tell my mom, I'm washing dishes. I'm like, oh, I wish Bishop Jakes would just at least write back to me. Like, I ain't got to
Right.
go to the church or nothing. Just write back to me.
Just say something.
Yeah,
Right.
just say something. But 2 weeks later, I got a better thing than a write back. I got a call. Well, my teacher, she got a call from a man that was looking for me and everything. I don't know how he got the number or anything like that, but he was calling looking for me. And then I got a call from my teacher to come down to the room. And so she said, "Come to the room. I got something for you." So I said, "Okay, I'm coming down to the room." And then she was like, "You can never guess what." I was like, "What? What happened?" She was like, "Well, Bishop Jake's called looking for you." I said, "Girl, shut up."
Say the TD
I said, "The?" She said, "Well, not really the. His associate pastor, Pastor Vince Davis." I said, "Who is that?" So I said, okay. And then she was like, yeah, he wants you to come meet Bishop. Yeah, yeah. I said, what? And then so I used to go to a predominantly white school. I still do at DBU. And so the kids, all the white kids, they was looking at me. I was like, turn around, stop looking at me, mind your business. I'm excited over
Right.
here. And so so she gave me the number. And so I called and everything. First, before I called my mom, and my
Mhm.
mom, she told my business out before I could tell everybody else out.
Of
Everybody
course.
else calling
You
me
know,
while I'm in school, talking about, I heard the news, I heard the news. How'd you hear the news? I only told one person.
right. All
So,
you need to do is tell your mom, and she's gonna
yes, and I didn't even think she would do me like that, but she
especially
did.
about Bishop. Oh, she had to tell a
Yes.
whole everybody.
Yes. And so when I made it home, I wanted to make sure, this was a scam. So I looked up who was Pastor Bishop Dobbins. And so he had a LinkedIn and it said pastor, associate pastor of the podcast because I didn't think Bishop had associate pastors because I thought he was just a one-man show. He was running this thing all by himself. But come to
Right.
find out, just being here and working for the Potter's House, which I'll get to later, that is he's not a one-man show. He got an army of troops behind him. And so I went in, I called him first, and then I called my mom. She was on three-way. And then we called, and so make a long story short, we met Bishop the last Sunday of the year, and I got to meet him, and it was so great going to the Potter's House first, because I was looking for a college and I didn't know where to go, and then when I was sitting there, the Lord said, "You're home," and then I was like, "Lord, I don't know how I'm going to be home, but if you
Right.
said it, then I believe it." And so I said, "Okay, Lord, this is home." Um, and so And so I'm sitting there, and then everybody's greeting me. I sit next to this mother of the church. She is so nice to me and everything. I don't know who she was. Like I can't find her to this day. And I've been going here for 4 years. Can't find her to this day. So maybe she was an angel. An
Maybe
angel.
so, but you know, Potter's House, like, we're very welcoming to our guests.
We are,
Oh,
we are indeed. And so when at the end, Bishop he was preaching a message. I totally forgot the name of the message, but it was fitting for what I was going through at that moment. And I went back there. Went to go meet him. Pastor Dobbs go. This is Taylor who wrote you the letter, and then he goes, okay, okay. And then he goes, "What do you want to be when you grow up, Taylor?" And then I go, I want to be a football player. And then later on, after I get done with football, I want to retire. And then I guess I'll be a preacher, I guess. And so it's funny how things just shifted. It's just because, like,
yeah, it's just shifted because
yes, it's shifted completely because I did not want to go into ministry first.
right.
I want to be a football player because I want to be a millionaire because that's how the quickest way to get a millions is, become football. So I want to be a millionaire. And so I was like, you know what? Later on, I may give myself to the Lord. Maybe,
Maybe.
just maybe, just obey His will. But I knew deep down in my spirit that the Lord was calling me to something greater than football. And so I just didn't want to accept it. And so I met him. And at the end, Pastor Dobbins, so we continue to talk. We take a picture and everything. At the end, we Pastor, he's talking to me like, cherish this moment. And then in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm cherishing this moment, but I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back. And so he asked me, he was like, you want to go tour the Potter's house? I said, nah, I'll be back. Um, and then he said, oh, okay. And so that's how I built my relationship with Pastor Dobbins. It's on that Sunday. And so I've been knowing Bishop and Pastor for 7 years now, long time. And so, yeah. And then now I'm working at the Potter's House and I go to DBU right next door. The Lord sent me a application letter 2 weeks later after this. And it was like, if you come here, your mission letter will be free. I mean, your mission application fee would be free. And then I said, oh, okay, Lord. So I prayed about it. And then the Lord provided every step of the way. But yeah, so that's the story. That's the moment. So yeah.
Wow. So you met Bishop,
Mm-hmm.
told me you didn't want to preach until after football.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got accepted to DBU,
Mm-hmm.
met Pastor Dobbins, and now you
Mm-hmm.
work at the Potter's House and student at DBU.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All this in my 22 years of living.
Right. 22 years. That's a blessing, Taylor. I
Yes,
know your mama was happy when she was
she
there with you.
was. She was. But my grandma, because my grandma is the one that watches him constantly. It's so
Oh, yeah.
funny. My nana, I'm gonna say nana just in case she listens because she
She's
don't like us
watching.
calling. Yeah, so but so it was funny because my mom, she went to her house the other day, and then she was like, she got all these bishop sermons and everything. I said, I'm gonna tell our security. We putting them on the list. But no, my grandma is the one that put me on. My nana is the one that put me on to Bishop and everything at a young age. So go over her house and she has a BH tapes and everything like that. So
Bet she has all
yeah,
type of archive.
she
Like,
does. She
just
does. Good powerful message. She'll keep them. It's so funny. She'll keep them on. Like she'll keep them constantly on YouTube. And then one day I was like, Nana, I go to church with this man. I know this man personally. You gonna have to change it because
grandma
you
was
are
like, she
not.
didn't care. She doesn't work there. She wants to
Yes, I was like, you are not gonna make me tired of this man. Like, come on, change it. Put it on Joel Osteen or something.
because you know she's telling all her friends that her grandson works there. You know
Oh
she.
yes, she does. She told one of the bishops from the jurisdiction. He was like, "Where's your other grandson?" She was like, "Oh, he working with Bishop Jakes." Then I said, "All right, just throw me out there like
Oh
that."
yeah, he's the associate pastor. She's awesome. So tell me, Taylor, what's your favorite Bishop Jake sermon?
My
Narrow it
favorite
down
bishop.
to like one.
My favorite Bishop Jakes sermon is an old sermon, and he's preaching. He's preaching God, Psalms 81. I think 81. It's one of those Psalms about I should be going to the Bible jail for this, for not remembering what Psalms it came out of. But he's preaching about the rod and staff that comforts me. He's preaching about that sermon. And so that sermon is the 23rd Psalms. Yes, the
Right. Yeah.
23rd Psalms. And so the 23rd Psalm sermon is the most profound sermon. It's an older sermon, and he
Mhm.
walking the text, and I just love it. That's when he had a gap in his teeth, he had hair, was a little bit taller, and everything like that. But yeah, his suits used to look like what's it called? Uh, what we Deion Sanders used to wear baggy suits and
The
everything like
baggy
that.
boots, the long
Yeah.
jackets down to your calves.
Yes, yes. I'm thinking about getting one of those, seeing if they
Please
still in
don't.
style.
Please don't, Taylor. It's funny, like if you can just like I remember when Bishop preached that. I can't think of the name of the
Hmm.
sermon, but whenever he preaches the 23rd Psalms,
Hmm.
it's like he just goes crazy. And when he just walks
Yeah,
the text and slowly breaks it down, it's like
yeah.
no one can make the scripture come alive like Bishop. Like he has
Mm,
his way of
nobody.
like teaching. Like I wish he would just release like a study guide,
Hmm.
like showing how he studies in like sermon prep series
Hmm.
for the
Yeah,
mass.
I wish he'll do that, and he'll release a study guide and a cookbook. Like next time we talk, I told Pastor just a few minutes ago, we're gonna have to have a cook off. I'm gonna tell him we're gonna have to have a
Yeah,
cook.
that's what I said. I'm like I need to interview Bishop so I can me
Hmm.
and Bishop can have like a cook off. Like I'll do the
Hmm.
meat and he can do all the desserts and all the things. So
Yes, yes.
but yeah, like Bishop suits. It's so funny like to watch Bishop's style along the way. Remember when he lost like a lot of weight
Hmm.
and he had I think the book cover was like him standing in like one of his old pair of pants or something, but
Yes, yes, I definitely remember that book, and everything. So I think that was what book was that?
was it lose the weight? What is
It
it?
probably was, or one of those books. I know it wasn't Crushing.
No,
Uh,
it was before that. It was like a long time ago, but I think it was when he was wearing the side part.
mm-hmm.
It was like Bishop with the side part and glasses.
Yeah,
I'm about to
yeah, I
look it
do
up.
remember that. Yeah, because Crushing is the one we went to TBN for. I remember that story. I think that's probably one of my favorite Bishop moments, because Pastor Dobbins, he texts me and he goes, I'm sitting in class. He texts me, he says, BJ wants you at TBN. I go, who was BJ?
Right?
I don't know who this is.
Like who?
And then I'm sitting here thinking, who was I don't know no BJ. Who was I'm sitting here looking at my contacts. I ain't got no BJs in my contacts. And then I go, oh, you stupid. It's Bishop Jackson. I go, oh, okay. I decline. I mean, not decline, but I accept the offer.
Of
And
course.
he was like, okay. So he sent me the whole email and everything. So and then it was like crushing everything. And just seeing him in that moment, just
Mhm.
being able to being able to get in that groove in that moment and become a preacher, it was so worth it and
Right.
everything. So yeah.
So it's called Lay Aside the Weight. And
Mm.
this is the look at Bishop with like the sweatpants and the title Lay Aside the Weight. That is hilarious.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, so okay, so you have a favorite sermon. If you had a favorite moment
Hmm.
of Bishop, and it could be, for me, I think my one of my favorite moments is during Katrina, and
Hmm.
Bishop went to he was with President of the United States George Bush, and they went into I think it may have been NRG Stadium, and it was
Hmm.
like everyone from New Orleans was like in this arena, whatever they were, and you see nothing. He's on live on CNN, and it's like all the black people are like, "Forget George Bush. You want to talk to the bishop?" It was
Hmm.
just like
Yeah.
even on CNN, it was like, "Well, who's that standing next to President Bush?" And then
Hmm.
so I said, "Oh, that's TD Jakes, Bishop Jakes." But it was just one of those moments where it's like everyone really saw him for who he was. And then there's a Time magazine cover where Time was like, I think it was, "Is he the next Billy Graham?"
Hmm.
Or like America's Next Pastor. And it was like
Yeah.
for him to be compared to Billy Graham was like I was like a big because Billy Graham was like that guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So Do you have a favorite
Yes.
moment?
So, the TBN one was one of them. My favorite moment it's so hard because like I have so many different ones. It could be like, the private conversations and just hearing his wisdom. But I think one of my favorite moment was it was my first Sunday here, my freshman year. And I remember Pastor he had to leave to do something, and then I get called to the back. It's Russ and I, then Antar. He calls me up to the back. He says, Bishop wants to see you. And then I go, who want to see me? What did I do? And so I get in the back and I'm just standing there. Bishop is talking after the sermon. He's giving wisdom.
Right.
And then he looks at me. He says, what a pastor wants nowadays is loyalty. Loyalty is what moves a pastor. And then he said, if you be loyal, you'll see your pastor be loyal to you too. And so what he said shaped everything within my life. It shaped the moment. It shaped me staying at the Potter's house and everything like that. Like I am loyal to the T to the Potter's house. I work for the Potter's house. I tell people, hey, come over here to the Potter's house. White people ask me, how many people, how many of us come there? I say, quite a few, but you could come and join. You could be like, the quite
Right.
a few. And so, but
You can
yeah,
add on to the few.
yes, yes. And so that's one of the moments that actually one of my favorite moments. And then one of my favorite moments too is during COVID. We was in the back. It was after a Wednesday night. I love the Wednesday nights when Bishop is preaching. Because
Oh
those are
yeah.
yes, because those are the intimate moments. Is when Bishop's preaching like in the back, like it's not crowded at all, nothing like that. And so that's why I love just talking to him because he'll talk more to you on a Wednesday
Right.
night because there's not that many people back there. But he talks about like, how the church needs certain people. And then he goes, the church needs you, Benchar, the church needs you, Christy, the church needs you. And then he points at me. And then I go, me? The church? How the church need me? And then I looked, and then he said, yeah, I said you. And then I go, oh, okay. And so we talk and everything. And
Mm.
so yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. So yeah.
All right, awesome. We need you, Taylor. The church
Yeah.
needs you. We need you. So my final question, well, I guess it's not really a question or comment. If you could tell Bishop anything, what would you tell him? As we know, I mean, he's still around, but
Mhm.
you know, he won't. I don't even want to say it, but um, do you? What are like anything you want to tell Bishop?
Hmm.
You tell him
Yeah,
anything.
I was talking with Pastor about this question because I was reading it to him earlier, and I was like, it's hard to even say what I want to even say because like I talked to him about and when I want to say something to him, I talk to him about it like whenever I see him on a regular basis. And then he was like, so what would you say to him after he told you that he was proud of you? And you
Right.
didn't know anything about that. I said, "Oh, you got
Um,
me there."
yeah, I was
And
excited. I was happy for you when
yes,
you said that. I was like, oh man, I would have
yeah,
went, Taylor.
yeah. So when he said that, I was like, "You tell me that after you announce that you're going to be handing the ranks down
Hmm.
to your daughter and your son-in-law, when we're supposed to be telling you we're proud of you, you tell me you're proud of me." And then you look at me with the most sincere look, and it looks like you're about to cry, and you say, I'm proud of you. And then I go, oh, Bishop, thank you. And then he says it again, I'm proud of you. And then I go, oh, thank you, Bishop. And then
Right.
he says again, I'm proud of you. I go, okay, Bishop. All right, you try to make me cry. That's what you try to
Three
do.
times for the Trinity.
Yes. And so what I'll say to him is I'm proud of him. And I'm gonna try to say it without crying, but I'm proud of him in a way that nobody else is really proud. Like I have been able to have a chance just to sit back and watch from behind the scenes. And it's funny. Me and Bishop, we had a conversation, and he was like, it was after As a Man Thinketh. He was just in the hallway by himself, elevator. I was coming up and he was going down, and we get off and he hugs me. He's like, "How you enjoy the conference?" I'm like, "I enjoyed it. It was good." And he was like, "Look at God." He was like, "I remember you coming to me as a little boy, 16, and now you're a grown man."
Oh,
And so that moment, I'm like, okay, you've been watching me, but I've been watching you.
right.
And so watching his every move and just seeing how he moves in elegance, and how he moves in a very presidential way, how I want to say, and how Pastor Hannah say that he's the bishop of the world. He really is the bishop of the world. And how he moves in so classy, and class and demeanor, and not just him. First Lady does the same thing. They
Yes.
both move in a very classy way, and so I'm proud of him for not throwing it in the towel. I'm proud of him for not giving up. I'm proud of him for being able to go in the ministry for this long. I'm proud of him when people try to kick his name in the dirt, him hold his head high and him get up, and it seems like that it was not damaging him, but it was damaging him. But he didn't show us that it was damaging him. And so I'm proud of him for everything that he's done, everything that he's going to do. And so I'm just proud of him for being an awesome bishop. I call him Grandpa Jakes, for being an awesome grandpa, for loving me, for just showing that he cares about me, and everything like that. So yeah, I'm just proud of him. And his birthday was yesterday, so I'm proud of how he just pushed on through. Because Bishop could have been going on home, and the
Listen.
devil saw was trying to see fit to bring him on home, but God saw fit to keep him here. And so I'm proud of him for just overcoming every obstacle that the devil tried to throw at him. And so he gives me hope. He gives me joy. He when he told me that he was proud of me, I'm not gonna lie to you. That gave me your perseverance to keep going. I was like, oh,
Right.
you probably okay. Let me make you more
Right.
proud. Let me
Yeah.
make you more proud. So yeah, yeah,
Just a
that
joy to see him being able to look at the youth and say, you know what, I'm proud of you. Because he didn't have to say, he doesn't even have to say anything, if you're being honest,
mhm.
but just to know that he's looking at the next generation and that he sees you.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a great moment because like every time we're around somebody, he tells people like I remember when he was, and I go, oh, this sounds like a proud grandpa moment.
It is sounds like a grandpa. Like, look at my grandson Taylor.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm a grandson. So yeah, it's so like now like the pastors now like I was talking with Pastor Winfield and Pastor Downs the other day, and Pastor Winfield was like, I remember when you just when you was a freshman, yeah, leaving high school, and now you about to graduate, and I go, these people actually pay attention to me.
Uh-huh.
So, so yeah, so I'm that's the moment that I'm proud of. And people ask me, how am I able to be able to like work the way I can? And that's the reason why I'm able to work the way I can is because of him, it's because of my mom and my nana and Pastor Dobbins, an elder. It's because like they have the tenacity to do so. And so the be able to work and function the way I have to function now, and so I won't let them down because they are the most hardest workers that I know. Uh,
Listen, hard
yes,
work.
hard workers.
I'm like,
And
when do they
so,
sleep? How do they do it?
yes, one day sleep. And so I have to keep working hard because if I don't work hard, then my work ethic reflects on them. So, yeah.
Goodness. Well, we're all proud of you, Taylor, and we're just excited to see where you go. I'm ready. I'm gonna make you officially Bishop Taylor.
I will be running from it, but I'm gonna say, "Oh Lord, okay, I guess,
Right.
I guess."
Don't run. Don't run. Don't
I
run.
accept it. You know what? I'm gonna stop running. I'm gonna stop running because Pastor, he said to me, he said, "Oh," he said to me, he said, "I wish all my sons would, just accept their calling." And then I was like, "Is he talking to me?"
It's
And then
like,
he kept saying it
Taylor.
again. Yeah, he kept saying it again. And then I was like, oh, okay, I accept it. I accept it. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Taylor. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me on.
You're
It was an
welcome.
honor to be on here. The most esteemed podcast about Bishop Jakes.
Listen,
Let it
yeah,
go down
so
in history book.
right. And so I just need everyone that's listening to like, share, and
Mhm.
subscribe. And I'll say it again, Bishop, if you're listening, I would like for you to come on the podcast. I'll smoke you a brisket, ribs, whatever you want. Just let me know. Bring First Lady. I want to talk to her too. Bring the whole family. Bring all the Jakes.
Yes.
Bring your sister. I want to talk to Miss Jacqueline because she's leading right now for best sister in the world because she loves her baby. She loves her baby brother.
You do. I be seeing her comments. Oh, my baby brother. I go, oh, okay.
Listen, I understand. Sisters that have younger brothers, we understand.
Mhm.
Jacqueline Jakes, we get it. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, um, Taylor. And until next time.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Until next time.